Happy camper, we have SixJax DDE spawning as the blue Terran at the 3 o'clock position, and his opponent, the Kraken himself, EGIdra, spawning as the red Zerg at the 9 o'clock position.
Now, for any of you who didn't know, I do a little show called the Day 9 Daily where we analyze games, learn what the pros do so you can do it too. And recently, we were looking at SixJax DDE's play on the Daily. And there we see that he has some very weird timings, getting very fast stim, very fast medevacs, and then not going for the drops, doing direct pushes at the front, very underused, and they come right at the time when Zerg is getting ready to begin droning for his third base. So that's a big opportunity for DDE to break in there and do that.
We already see something pretty telling right now. DDE building his first supply depot, not at his ramp, but next to his command center. This might signal a 2 racks opening for DDE. However, it is going to be cross positions, so it's going to take quite some time for those Marines to rally across the map. What is Idra going to be doing? Is he going to be taking that quick expansion? Is he going to be 14 gassing, 14 pulling? There's the 15th drone. Looks like a fast expand.
He may even go for the 16th drone. I mean, we see players basically going 16 hatch, 17 pool, realizing that the drones are the key to defending the bunker rush, not the Zerglings. 1 barracks is down for DDE. We don't see any second barracks yet. He's making the 15th SCV. It's going to be an early expand for DDE unless he's feeling particularly bonkers, which I think he is not, JP. He will not be doing something like suddenly throwing down 4 racks. He is no TLO.
He has no TLO indeed, because as Huck stated earlier, that was going to be Ostrich.
Ah.
Little throwback there. If you watched that match, if you didn't, you can go check out the VODs, which I think might be up or will soon be up here at the Bnet North American Invitational. Now, jumping back over to Greg's base, we see the spawn and pull go down. Gas just now being started as well at that southern extractor. I do hear some rat-a-tat-tat from a Marine, and there it is, taking out the drone at the ramp for DDE.
Great play by DDE. He took the Marine and just sprinted down the ramp, ensuring that he would trap the drone in a maximum fashion. There we also see the second depot going down, players regularly cutting that second depot so that way they can begin this command center a little bit earlier. 1 refinery going down, but not 2. That is uncommon. Never mind, this is common, JP. It's likely going to be a double factory transition, but we still have seen players add on barracks at this point and then just get a faster single factory and begin pushing early.
2 queens coming out for EGIdra, both at his main and at his natural. The SCV from DDE is just scouting around. We did have a little bit of a drone transfer very early on. 4 drones already at the natural. Going back over into DDE space. Command center is going to be finishing here very, very soon. And we do have that double refinery trying to get his gas up as quickly as possible. Is this going to signify a factory into some helium plays, you think, Sean?
You know, I think that that's likely going to be the most consistent thing with DDE's style, just because of the fact that he likes doing pressure builds where he never stops attacking. Very similar to Major, DDE is aggro as all hell, will never relent with his attacks. Now we do see DDE getting ready to build factory number 2. There it goes down. Going to be the blue flame play. And I will say, with a double factory build where you open up blue flame helium, you put on a lot of pressure with the blue flame Hellions, but then there's a long period of passivity because you did get those 2 factories up. It did interrupt your Marine production.
So, jumping back over into Idra's base, we got a quick macro hatch. Something typically you will not really see Greg do. This might be something that he's actually developed in that EG house out there in Phoenix, Arizona with the rest of the EG clan. Going back over into DDE's base as we see constant drone production coming out of Greg. That metabolic boost will be finishing here soon. A starport is going down as well as a second Rex. Now, you seem to know this style very, very well, Sean. You said you did this in your daily. Where can people go check this out possibly after the game if they're looking to actually do something similar to DDE style in the TVZ matchup?
Well, pretty easy to find. It's just day9.tv or look up day9TV anywhere and the internets will poop me out on the other side and I'll say hello. DDE, though, I think is doing another one of his trademark weird builds. In every game that DDE took out Idra in those finals, there was some oddness to it, where you'd think, well, that's not what pros normally end up doing, and yet still it would be strong. For instance, here DDE cutting Hellion production despite getting 2 fast factories, so we can get this early starport up. Also, this early second barracks is quite uncommon, but he's going to be getting a tech lab on it to begin those marine upgrades quite early. Here is that aggression starting to ramp up. But EGIdra, though, I'm very impressed with this macro platform he's set up for himself, getting those 2 spine crawlers, starting to get some defenses up. But man, is that money starting to really roll in.
Now, one of the players out there in the EG house that loves doing this Blue Flame Hellion pressure is the Muslim. I watched
my God, yeah.
on a stream earlier about a week or 2 ago where Greg was playing against the Muslim non-stop, and I think in about 7 or 8 games in a row, every single game he was having to defend against an onslaught of Blue Flame Hellion attacks. So he's going to be very, very familiar with exactly where to place these spine crawlers. We see him even blocking off the back passageway at his natural over here with the spine crawler. So that is just going to be extra annoying as DDE wants to try to get into that mineral line. Is he going to be able to line him up, Sean? We're about to find out.
You just heard a scan go off by DDE. There's another spine going down from EGIdra. And this is going to be very difficult for EGIdra to deal with because we're soon going to see a medevac pop into play. EGIdra's feeling very confident, but medevac number 1 has just completed, and my gosh, look at the drop that's in the back. It's actually not going to be Blue Flame Hellion drop. It's going to be Marines marching their way forward. He does lift up, but not very much damage was dealt to those Marines. DDE loves to just keep the pressure on. And meanwhile, back on the main, we see that Stim is amazingly almost done. An armory coming up for DDE. Again, you'd normally get tanks at this point as DDE for a slow, methodical push, but he's going to be getting Thors fast so he can immediately press and again deny that third from getting up and operational.
Spire about 80% right now for EGIdra. We have that Baneling Nest, of course, upgrading that centrifugal hooks, aka Baneling speed. Great defense there, of course, from that from that Blue Flame Hellion and Marine drop, only losing 2 entire workers. Third base is going up, but we have 2 Blue Flame Hellions about to stop. We also have a Blue Flame Hellion drop in the main. It does get picked up. The Queen's going to chase it out.
You know, I actually had to disable the toast notifications on this account because amazingly, I was getting tons of pop-ups from Kiwi Kaki being like, hey, your friend Kiwi Kaki just watched a replay. And now that Kiwi did see that hot pickup from DDE, no doubt he is earning himself some points on his account.
See some more Blue Flame Hellions now, a total of 6 going into this third base. They don't do much damage to a hatchery, but they will do a lot of damage to those Lings as they are going to have to fall back. The Mutalisks are going to be that choice unit, of course, to take out the Blue Flame Hellions. They are not afraid of any type of flame because they're up in the sky so high.
And fire, as we know, elapses once you get too high in the altitude. No fire has ever been taller than about 10 feet. So we do see the spine crawler going down in the main of EGIdra, that macro hatch, allowing him to stay on even footing with those Terran pieces. The Blue Flame Hellions continuing to swing around, and once these Mutalisks get to the main, DDE has plenty of units there to greet him. There's the Thor arriving very soon. And interestingly, one of the fastest weapon upgrades for mech I've seen in this matchup in a long time. It's actually ahead of the infantry weapons.
Wow. Well, this is very, very common for Greg to do. He's going to keep massing up as many mutas as possible. Stick to this. Ooh, a huge shot there from the Blue Flame Hellion. Stick to this Muta Baneling Ling combination right now. But later on, he will be adding some Infestors. Then, if the game continues to go on with this huge onslaught of mutas, he will be adding on those all-important brood boards. It's very similar style to what we've seen Greg play in all of those MLG events and almost all the tournaments he's actually been playing in as of late.
God, there's a third command center coming up. I mean, EGIdra's refinement is just top-notch now, getting that +2 melee, the +1 for Mutalisks nearing completion. In the drone count, we see 74 drones up, but man, DDE holding his own brilliantly, up to 61 SCVs, hasn't missed a single one despite having no building hotkeys. Look at this, just the orbital command, and there's tanks, and there's Marines, and there's medevacs. But nothing else except a gigantic push. Oh, yes, very much so like SixJax Major. DDE wants to put the pressure on the Zerg player by attacking.
Now, one of the big problems that Major was having, even though he won, he would always get caught off guard with the tanks not in siege mode. Can Greg find that important point to actually move in? Here he comes with a bunch of Banelings and Lings.
And there's the siege up, and it looks like DDE is not going to get caught off guard. Those Banelings are moving forward. He needs to get some big tank hits on them. And there's the stim, and oh my god, the banelings do absolutely nothing. They crash right into the tanks. The Thors are up, and look at the 2 shots the Thors got off. DDE now about to do a crushing blow to this third base right as it was getting up and running. The theme continues with DDE, the man who never lets the third base for Zerg stay alive long.
Bunch of banelings finished morphing here. We are going to see another attack. Where is it going to happen though? Greg is on 2 base right now. He needs to get a third up very soon here. Greg trying to swing around. Looks like he might actually have it. There are 2 tank siege, but here we go with the banelings.
The Thors at the front, and again the Thors absorb huge damage, and DDE with some stunning control, pulling everything back and rearranging his units. The Mutalisk will evaporate, and the old EGIdra would have left by now, but EGIdra knows that there is a $10,000 first place prize at the end of the rainbow, so he is not going to be giving up yet. DDE is pulling back, EGIdra retaking the third base, and with this third macro hatch, EGIdra is not at as big as a disadvantage as one might think.
It's kind of funny because as soon as you were talking about how Greg probably would have left here in the past, I was thinking the same exact thing. So
he's still in the game. Unbelievable.
It's remarkable.
What a turn of events.
Gold.
Oh,
thinking
DDE.
about being taken here from DDE. That is going to be very, very hard to deal with. Taking out EGIdra's third, and now we're going to see DDE even pull more and more further ahead as some Mutants fly into the main base of DDE. They will be taking out this Rags, it looks like. Not sure. Oop, the Thors are about to pop out. Some Marines
that was
are about
so
to come out
close.
as well.
And there it looks like a couple Marines getting taken down. EGIdra not losing focus in this game despite having a third get taken down. And oh no, the Thor hit, and he loses the barracks. A decent hit, and the Zerglings rushing up into the front. A couple of Zerglings are at the natural expansion. EGIdra is actually chipping his way back into a lead, and you know what's kind of funny? It reminds me of the game we saw between Ostoji and Huck, where there comes that point where Ostoji's thinking, I should have won by now. I really feel like DDE in his brain is going, well, EGIdra should have left by now. I killed his third, but EGIdra says no problem. Shrugs it off like a boss and is going for base 3 and 4.
The key to beating EGIdra, the Kraken, is to kill his third, and he'll just GG out. But looks like a different Greg here in the Bnet North American Invitational. Some more Lings running into the main base. They're not going to kill too many, but they are, like you said, slowly chipping away. They're actually getting quite a few SCVs in the main. All of the SCVs dying, but oh no, another big push here. Drones are going to be denied the transfer. Not too many banelings in this big attack, but that is a great position for those siege tanks to be in. So they're going to get so many shots. They're going to deny this 4th hatchery of EGIdra. Leaders are going to go in. Oh, they're so tightly packed there. That Thor did get a nice volley out. Trying to go ahead and take out one of those tanks. He's not able to do so.
And it looks like the 4th is going to fall from EGIdra, but that 4th, amazingly, is going to buy EGIdra enough time to regroup with a massive amount of forces. Where are the Thors for DDE? He seems to be running very low on them. There is yet more add-ons going down. A total of 4 more barracks being constructed. Those golds just give you so much freaking money. And we do see level 2 vehicle weapons, level 1 armor, almost done. DDE is not wanting to push forward.
I feel like Greg can probably overrun this small attack right now, as he does have quite a few Lings, quite a few Mutas. You just got to make sure to not clump those Mutas up. Back over at the high yield for DDE, setting up for a counterattack. He does have quite a few bunkers. When is going to be the go point right now for Greg? He is positioning his Lings, his banelings on both sides. We're about to see a sandwich occur, I do believe, as the Mutas are out on the side. He's going to go ahead and magic box those over that Thor. The attack could commence here at any moment, but at the same time, as he's moving in, there's a reinforcement coming from DDE. Here comes the big attack.
Oh, way too many units from EGIdra. An unbelievable hold after losing his third, and so many units, making the cleanup look easy. And DDE is going to need to run home very quickly with these forces. We see tons of Marines being produced. DDE desperately needs to start spending some gas on some reactors so he can keep up with that production. As of right now, he's been trying to keep the aggression up, but he will not be able to for too much longer.
We see right here, this high yield of DDE is so fortified. 3 bunkers, about 6 turrets, a ton of siege tanks.